Hello and welcome to the Ferret Business Podcast. I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, aka Yemmy, aka DJ Yemmy. And with me today on the podcast is a songwriter, a let's player, and live streamer. It's Douglas and Dragons. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you.
All of his links will be down in the description below, so make sure you check him out on YouTube and Twitter. Douglas, how are you today?
I'm doing good. That's sweet of you. You put the links there? That's cute.
Yeah, and actually there will be a little card in the corner, in the right-hand corner, and if you forget to check out the channel in the description, there is an end screen with your latest video and your YouTube link.
Oh, wow. Thank you, man.
Going above and beyond.
Yeah, I feel special.
So how you doing today? I saw you were live streaming Resident Evil today. How'd that go?
Oh, it went good, man. I had a couple guys in there that have been helping me out. I made them mods because they've been literally holding my hand through the whole process. Rikito and Chanader, those guys are rad. They're like Resident Evil experts.
Well, shout out to them.
Yeah, definitely a shout out.
So why choose Resident Evil? Is it just because it's the Halloween season, or was it a game you've been waiting to play?
A little bit of A and a little bit of B. I thought it definitely fit the season, and I have a lot of nostalgia for Resident Evil. I grew up around it. I always had friends that were playing it. I never played it myself. I've seen Resident Evil 2 and 3 and several others like played through, a long time ago, but I was too afraid to play them myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that Resident Evil 2 is having a remake, and I wanted to feel like I deserved to play it. So I was like, let's do Resident Evil. And randomly, I did Resident Evil 7 because my brother gave me the game. So that was actually my first stream, was Resident Evil 7.
Well, nice.
That was fun to play.
Yeah, Resident Evil 7 definitely, it kind of goes back to the old style where you have your inventory management's a little bit more difficult, and the spook factor's a little bit up because, let's be honest, Resident Evil 5, like, it's in broad daylight. It's not that scary.
Yeah. Actually, I haven't seen 5 or 6, and I'm gonna do co-op with Vash on that.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So that's gonna be a little series, but the survival horror aspect definitely came back into the Resident Evil 7, and man, Resident Evil 1, the biggest thing was inventory space.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a puzzle in itself.
Yeah, I like the shit on Resident Evil 5, but I actually really enjoyed playing through the game with my friends. And I also got the platinum with my friend, too. It was quite a fun experience. But like I said, it's more like an action shooter, like a third-person shooter. Because, I mean, literally the first, half of the game, you're just in broad daylight. You're in Africa fighting, Ouroboros or whatever it's called. And it's not, scary. It's just kind of like, okay.
It's like, ooh, it's scary. I see everything coming.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, they can really play with the shadows, though. But still, it's
Those shadows will get you, man.
They will. All right. So one of the first questions I had today, and I don't remember where I heard this. I don't even know if it's true, but I thought I saw somewhere that you said that you were deaf.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So how long have you been of hearing now?
It was like a technicality. So I was born deaf. I couldn't hear. And it was one of those things where, behind your eardrum, basically there's like a little drainage system you got going on. Well, mine didn't do that properly. And so my ears were just gunked up. And, so I had to have these ear surgeries. So about 5 years old, was the first time I actually spoke. And then, or around that. And then I had to take speech classes to enunciate things correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still words I can't say right to this day, but I try to get around that.
That's crazy. So you weren't technically your ears were still working. It's just that you just couldn't hear anything because just of all the buildup.
Yeah, because when you're a baby, they don't know, So my mom was like, he's not talking yet, and he's putting his ear up to my mouth. What's going on? And they kind of figured it out. But what was kind of sucked was I loved the water, and once I had those, they literally cut your eardrums open.
Ooh.
And they put these things, they're like drums, they're like these tubes. That's what it was. They put these tubes in there. Well, it leaves a hole in your eardrum, so I couldn't go in the ocean or stuff because you get really bad swimmer's ear and stuff like that. So
right.
But Long story short, the scar tissue healed up, which supposedly is not supposed to happen. And then I had the decision when I was like 10 years old. Do you want to keep having these surgeries, or do you want to kind of have like, 3/4 the hearing of a normal person? And so I'm like, I like to swim. I'll keep the hearing I have and just live with it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of that happening, but hey, you learn something new every day.
Yeah. The thing was, the tubes. I normally when they put them in, that's a one-time deal kind of thing. But
Hmm.
I guess my earwax is so thick it pushed it out of my ear. So I was in class one day, and this little tube landed on my shoulder, and I'm like, what the heck? And they're like, yeah, that's not normal.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do the surgery over again.
Dang, yeah, that's gotta be scary though. Like,
I
jeez.
didn't know what was going on. I think if I was an adult, I probably would have cried in the corner. But I was a kid, so I was kind of, naive.
So, is there any fear of like that coming back or getting worse?
No, because essentially, like everything's fine. I don't really have stuff like fluid buildup or anything, like gross stuff happening
Hmm.
anymore. And the only reason my hearing is less is because the scar tissue thickens your eardrum, so it just vibrates differently than like a normal person's. But everything else is working fine.
Oh, good.
So yeah, yeah.
Glad to hear that. You kind of
I'm
need your
glad to
ears
hear,
to make music.
I'm glad to hear that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So, where did the interest in making music come from?
Oh man, that goes way back. I picked up guitar. My dad played guitar, and my older brother did. And I remember wanting to learn one day, but my dad was teaching my brother. And I think I was at that age where my dad, probably thought, oh, he's not going to take it seriously right now. He's just, he's excited. Well, I remember leaving and going to my dad's room, finding his guitar book, and I started teaching myself some chords. There were some patterns in there. So I
Hmm.
learned like G minor, CD. Flash forward a couple years, I didn't sing or anything, and I didn't think I could. I even had some friends and people around me like, "Oh, you can't sing, you're tone deaf, blah 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 blah." And so I kind of left it at that. Played guitar for a while, and then about I think when I was like 26, so like 5 years ago, I ended up trying out for a band when I lived in Oregon, and they needed a singer though. They didn't need a guitarist,
Hmm.
and they're like, "Dude, you could sing okay." And so I'm like, "Really? Okay, let's do this." And I ended up doing shows with them, and I had to learn how to sing in front of people. And from there, I was like, "Hey, I like singing a lot," and I started making just goofy tunes. I always would do in high school. I would always do improv songs. So I would tell people like, give me a random word. They'd be like sharks, and give me another word, Jolly Ranchers, and Africa, and just make a song about it. And I would do that, and it was just I would do improv stuff all the time. So I never felt like I could sing serious stuff. I can't take myself too seriously, and hence the joke songs.
That's what I was going to ask. I was like, are you planning on doing anything serious? But I guess it's probably just going to be the goof. Which is I mean, the songs are great. Like, even though they're like goofy songs, like
Yeah.
they're great. I really think they're
Oh,
awesome.
thanks, man.
I really
Thank you,
like
man.
that last song you did, Halloween, was so good. I listened to it a lot.
Oh wow, thanks, man. Yeah, that was like I wasn't sure how people would react because it wasn't like a comedy song, but I mean it's Halloween and I thought it would kind of go with the season, you know.
And I love the images used in the background, like all the old movies, and the wolf transformation always was the coolest one for me because, like, you can tell like they're stopping the footage and starting the footage again. He's like staying the same. It's great. I love it.
Oh, thanks, man.
So,
Yeah, awesome.
where do most of your ideas come from? Is it just from out of the blue? Do you get inspired by something?
Yeah, so like I have like a MIDI controller, which is like a keyboard, and I use Studio One by PreSonus, and so basically the keyboard can be anything. When I plug it into that system, I could have orchestra, I could make drum beats on it. So what I do is I a lot of times will pick a drum loop and I'll randomly put in the beats per measure, right? So however fast the song will be.
Mm.
And then the drums actually will give me a song. Like I'm very percussive. So I'll start laying something down on keyboard and then I'm like, okay, what does this melody make me think of? And then I'll literally sing nonsense words and a melody And then once I have the melody structure, I have to fit words to that syncopation. So that's why I haven't really branched out. I've had a few people, they're great musicians, and they're like, "Hey, you want to collab? I have some lyrics," or vice versa. And I'm like, dude, I'm really honored, but I literally can't do that. Like it's completely random. Like the Seagull song is a perfect example. It was 2 a.m. I was actually watching Cyberbard's live stream,
Hmm.
and I'm like, dude, I gotta go for a sec. And I literally wrote that song in like 15 minutes. And
Wow.
then I found some footage, and then I recorded it the way I want it to be, and there you go. That's just how it works.
And it was an instant classic.
Yeah, instant classic, of course.
That's
I
crazy
like
how
to
that
think of it.
happens. Like,
Yeah.
usually when I have my ideas for songs, they come while I'm driving. And of course, I
Oh,
don't
okay.
I don't have like anything to write it down on. So I just kind of like, I hope I remember this. And by the time I get home, I'm like, "Fuck, I don't remember."
Oh, dude, you got use your phone. Use your phone. You do the little voice recordings right there.
Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah, little memos. Yeah,
That's a good idea.
lifesaver.
I should probably do that.
Totally.
I have all my best ideas in the car for some reason because I drive for about 60% of my job. And I'm
Oh,
always just
wow.
driving around. And I'm like just thinking about things while I'm listening to podcasts. And I'm like, that's a good idea. I should probably remember to do that. And then I
Dude,
get,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah, those are what we call gold nuggets. You wanna capture those moments.
So let's talk about where did the inspiration come from? And actually, I should start with this. I want to start with this question first because I was listening to a podcast with Rhett and Link. It was one of the early ones with Watsky. If you don't know who he is, he's like a rapper. He's
Oh yeah, yeah,
he got
yeah.
famous for the fastest rapping white kid video on YouTube. Um, and when they were talking to him as a songwriter himself, they literally they played his lyric, and then they were like, "So what does that mean?" And I'm just wondering, you being a songwriter yourself, would that be really awkward to just explain your lyrics directly after listening to the bit of lyrics?
Oh no, no, that's fine. Yeah, totally.
I felt so awkward just listening to it because I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird that they're like, and it's like they didn't give any context either. Just like, so what does that mean?
It is hard sometimes because like your mind is in a certain place and whatever. But with the songs I make, they're just jokes. So a lot of times they're pretty straightforward. But like when I was in the band, I was trying to make like serious lyrics,
Hmm.
and that would be a little bit harder. I would have to sit down and like think, wait, what was I think? Like where was I at mentally when I wrote this? You know?
This is just the piss white people off. Yeah,
Yeah,
old
yeah.
old white people. I think that was a video I watched, just like a 10-second. Anyways, so what I was originally going to ask was, what was the inspiration behind the Chef Boyardee song? Did you just love Chef Boyardee so much that you had to
Oh,
parody it?
that okay. So what happened with that was I had this beat that I found, and I didn't make the beat, so it was a loop in PreSonus, and I ended up just putting some chords over it, and I think there were some minor chords. I don't know music theory, so I could be wrong, but it sounded like there were some minor chords in it, and it just sounded so serious. It sounded like a rap song or some, I don't know, something deep maybe. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I can't use it. And so I kind of left it alone, and then I came back to it, and then I literally rapped. I never rap. And
Mm.
so I rapped like this line. I'm like, hey, that kind of flows. What can go with it? And literally the first line came out. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's like one line of rap in that, and that's what starts it. And then I ended up coming up with the chorus, and I'm like, it has to be about Chef Boyardee because I said Chef Boyardee in the first couple lines, um, and I just went from there. And then I came up with the music video idea and pieced it together. I probably spent the most time on that one, like production wise and music video wise, and yeah, because I try to think outside the box because otherwise I'll just be standing in front of a green screen, mouthing off lyrics.
Right.
So I try to like incorporate new things.
Um. So you were doing a little bit of rapping in that song. Do you ever think that you do a diss track on someone? I've done 3 so far, and they are extremely fun to make. But you actually probably could actually rhyme a little bit better than me. Have you ever thought of doing a diss track on someone?
I almost made a T series song, and
Oh.
it wasn't a rap. It was like very R&B. I would say it was very R. Kelly, and I thought it'd be very funny to put that out. And then no lie, like I'm halfway through the song, and then PewDiePie drops a T series song,
Of
and
course.
I'm like, Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? His name's always next to T Series, and he straight up just did a diss track. I'm not gonna bring this out. I'm just gonna look like a total copycat, not doing it. So I just that kind of bummed me out, but that happens, you know.
Let's talk a little bit more about your YouTube channel and the origin of it. I know Douglas and Dragons, of course, is Dungeons and Dragons with Douglas in it. Genius, I might add.
Oh, thanks.
So, are you really into Dungeons and Dragons?
No, and that's where I got a lot of hate for that when I first started my channel. I had all these guys from like D&D, and they're like, you know, they're dungeon masters and whatever, and they're like, dude, where's your content? Where's the Dungeons and the Dragons? And I'm like, oh well, it's kind of just a play on the word. And they're like, are you serious? But for me, like, the way I kind of played it off was like, you know, the dragons are like Douglas and his demons or his dragons. So I was always chasing the dragon when I was younger.
Mhm.
You know, I do like the weed from time to time. I don't do it now because I'm in Oklahoma and I would go to jail. But yeah, I did partake and I liked it because it kind of made me happy. And so I played it off that. But the funny thing is, I did play Dungeons and Dragons. And my first time, I was 21 years old. It was with a group in Oregon. A guy named Jerry let me in on the group, and they call him the DM, right? The Dungeon Master. I don't know what they're called. Yeah. The guy leading it hated me. He absolutely despised me because I would crack too many jokes, and I'd get the guys laughing in the group, and he wanted to be more serious.
Oh.
And then I got in trouble because I brought a beer one time, and I guess the guy didn't drink, and he got mad. So I was just like, I don't know what to do now. All I know is I'm an orc and you don't like me.
Yeah, I remember my first experience with Dungeons and Dragons. I was on I used to be in marching band, and we were riding the bus to a place, and this guy, we all just all formed a group, and we filled out these cards, and we were playing a little bit. And the first thing that I did was I killed the person who was giving us the mission before he could give the mission.
Nice.
So we couldn't continue on the quest. So I was like, "Oops, my bad."
Wow. Yeah, my bad. Oopsie.
I really enjoyed playing Dungeons and Dragons. I played it for about a year at one of my friends' places, but when I was playing with them, like, they would just all sit around with their computers and they would be talking through chat on Skype, which, you know, is fine because you don't want to know what someone else is doing if you're not in the same area as them. But that was pretty much it. No one would really talk, and I'm like, this is weird. Like, we're all just sitting around jacking off to our laptops. I don't understand what's going on right now. So eventually I just left the group, and I haven't played it since, but I really used to enjoy playing it because it's like playing. It's not really not like playing a video game. It's like you are in the game. Like, you're making the decisions, and you can really fuck things up if you really try.
Oh yeah, and the thing for me is like what was kind of strange was there's two guys, the dungeon master and this other dude, and they both had these huge beards, and one of them was supposed to be a girl, and they were dating in this realm, and so like he was flirting with him, but you know they're both straight in real life, and it was an awkward moment, and I didn't know how to like take it seriously, and I think they got mad at me, and
I probably couldn't take that serious either.
Yeah, that's where it kind of started. Yeah.
So, hey, you're switching from Let's Plays, like recorded Let's Plays, to live streams, and actually you did that a while ago. Now I'm looking at your channel. What was the main inspiration for switching to live streams?
Well, I had a Skyrim series that I really enjoyed doing, and I actually had a channel before this. It was called Doug Luck, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna quit YouTube because no one's watching it, and I don't know. I think I got the YouTube blues really early, and so I was only like a month or two old of a channel, so I deleted everything. Like I was all emotional. I'm like, I'm giving up, and then so I had this partial Skyrim series. I brought back my channel, but I named it Douglas and Dragons because I'm like, I want to name it this instead. The reason why I didn't use Douglas Dragons initially was I found this channel. They're not called Douglas and Dragons, but their series is called Douglas and Dragons. And I didn't want them thinking I was copying them. And no, I didn't get the name from them. It was my PSN name.
Okay.
So yeah. So I'm big on that. I want to be original. So what was the question again? I lost my train of thought.
Why switch to live streams from recorded Let's Plays?
Right. So I did the Skyrim. I think about 18 episodes of it, and then I did Far Cry and a God of War, and I found that trying to play really long games and trying to edit the footage took so much time. And just people didn't seem to be watching edited vids. They would watch my music videos, which I was really excited about,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't bang out a song every day. So I'm like, I was thinking, what was the best way I could kind of maybe appease the algorithm gods? And so I'm like, you know what? I'll try streaming. And tell you the truth, I really enjoy it. And yeah, I mean, it gets you more view time and whatever. But I actually really enjoy playing a game and looking over in the chat and talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
It actually makes it's like doing Briar, a good friend of mine he has a YouTube channel. He said it's like doing a couch co-op,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what got me into gaming initially. Like back in the day, was 4-player couch co-ops, and I for a while I didn't game and I wouldn't play games on my own. I kind of just felt not bored, but I don't know. I like sharing the experience more, and yeah. So I've been playing games that I wanted to play as a kid and never did. So that's what kind of Resident Evil was, and people seem to be liking that, and I'm just gonna keep doing it. I got Red Dead Redemption coming up tomorrow.
Nice.
Everyone, their mom's gonna be
Yeah.
playing it. I don't expect people to watch it because they're not gonna want spoilers, but I'm gonna play it anyways.
Right. Yeah, I've noticed more people coming to my Spider-Man streams. Of course, I finished it today on live stream, but I noticed a lot more people coming as the game got older and everyone kind of beat the game. They were sticking around, so that was nice. But yeah, it's almost like, I really like interacting with people in the chat, and it's always fun to see the new faces and the old faces coming around. It's great.
Yeah, and I find if you start seeing familiar people coming over and over, and you start making them mods, real friendships actually start to kind of blossom out of it, which I think is really neat. And people invite you to their discords, or you find each other on Twitter, you start DMing each other. I don't know, it's just neat. I didn't think I would jump into something like that. When I started out, I definitely was like going to be an introvert and just make my videos, the edited videos. Here's my video, watch it. I'm not going to talk to you. And I'm like, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I like this better.
So along that same vein, how did you join the Reaper gang?
Oh yeah, so I think I found Vash first. I saw this bearded dude with the shaved head, and he looked angry in his Twitter photo, and I kind of stayed away from him. And then I'm like, you know what? I was intrigued. I don't know why. I just watched one of his vids, and I really liked it. He kind of reminded me of Let's Plays that I like to watch back in the day when I first started watching YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
He play all the way through. He really knew about the game. He cared about the devs that make the games, and I liked his little intro thing. And anyways, I wrote him a comment, and then he ended up, I think he watched my Don't Sub for Sub video, and which was a song, and he really liked it. And then we started talking, and we started DMing, and we're like, dude, are we best friends? Like, we just clicked instantly. It was really weird. Like, I don't have that all the time, and we just really clicked. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna talk to Joyful Death. He's like, I'm gonna see if maybe we can get you in the Discord. And he's like, but we're not here to get big or famous. We're gamers, And I'm like, oh no, I am too. Like, I look at the whole YouTube thing. If people start really liking you, if you grow it all, then cool. But I mean, I really am a gamer first, and I just clicked with the guy. So I'm like, okay. And then anyways, yeah, I joined in the Discord, and then Joyful Death was really nice, and everyone else in there. And they would play games at night, and they started letting me play with them, even on Joyful Death streams. And that's kind of where I was like, hey, I'm already technically streaming with these people. Why not just try streaming sometime myself?
Yeah.
And, it just kind of was a natural process.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's nice to click with people online. Me and Player 2, I mean, we pretty much clicked from the get-go. It was kind of crazy. The only difference is he's all the way over in Welshland. And so the time difference is a little extreme. But, it's always cool to meet new people. And I mean, obviously, Vash is a cool dude. Everyone who meets him is like, this guy's really awesome. His videos are amazing. So, yeah, it's cool. That's cool. That's cool how you got into the Reaper gang.
Yeah, they're all awesome. They're really nice people. Great people.
So I prepared a little game for us called Where's That Dragon From? title was a little long, but since your name is Douglas and Dragons, I thought we'd play a little game about dragons. So pretty much, I'll give you the name of a dragon, and you just gotta tell me if it's from a film, or which film or game it's from.
Okay.
All right. So the first one is the easiest one. Dragon.
Dragon?
Mm-hmm.
What dragons from what dragon?
That's the name. The name of the dragon is Dragon.
I actually don't know this one.
Look at my avatar.
You're a ferret.
But what am I dressed as?
A ferret with a vest.
I'm Shrek.
Oh, okay. I see the ears. I didn't get it. My bad. I feel like a moron.
But yeah, the dragon in Shrek is Dragon.
I've seen your posts about Shrek too.
I love Shrek. I'm a big Shrek fan. I'm a Shrek fanatic.
No. My son. I have my son watching Shrek every day. Shrek and Shrek 2.
That's good. That's perfect. All right, the next one we have this dragon's name is Mushu.
Oh, Mulan.
Yeah, Mulan. Are you excited for the live adaptation of that, or?
Are they doing that?
I think so.
Oh, I guess they're gonna start doing them all, huh?
I think so.
Aladdin.
Yeah, you got Aladdin, Lion King. I don't know how that's
they're gonna ride that train. Yeah, that's what
All right, the next one, Smaug.
Oh, that's the Lord of the Rings.
That's right.
No, Hobbit.
Yeah, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, same thing. All right, next one is Alduin.
Oh, Alduin, Skyrim. Right?
Skyrim. Yeah, I pronounced it wrong. Alduin. Alduin. I don't know. I'm
How
better.
you doing?
Yeah. All right, we got Toothless.
Toothless. That one's harder. I don't know.
How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, of course. He's got no teeth.
Right. And the last one. This was the hardest one because I don't know how many people know this, but this dragon's name is Fin Fang Foom.
Fin Fang Foom.
Fin?
I know Thoom is from. That's a thing that happens in Skyrim, but you already did Skyrim. I don't know that one.
That is actually a character from Marvel Comics.
Wow, I would have never guessed that.
He's a giant dragon. All right. Good job on the game. Applause had by all.
Thank you.
So this next question has been bugging me for a little bit, and I didn't feel like looking it up, but I thought we might as well talk about it. But my question is, do you think that the people who are the puppeteers for the Muppets, do you think they're super buff in just one arm?
Yeah, absolutely. You kidding? Yeah, I think it's veiny and huge, swollen arms on one side.
And then the other arm is just like limp and small and.
Yeah, they probably just cut it off. They don't even need it.
Do you think they jack off with the puppet hand?
I would say no to refrain from getting injury.
Yeah. Do you think they'd ever jack off with the puppet hand on?
I think they have to ask the puppets permission.
Hey, Gonzo, is it okay if I do this? Like,
oh, jeez.
But let's get to the real last question here. Tommy Wiseau. I made sure you knew who he was in the live stream today.
Yes.
What was your first impression of the room? And you apparently you saw it with your friend too?
Yeah. Oh man, it was glorious. I saw it for the first time about a year ago, and I heard some things about it. I knew it was a movie that was like, trying to take itself seriously, and totally failed. And it failed so badly that it was amazing. It's one of those things. And so I knew that going into it. My friend wasn't so sold. And he's like, why are we going to watch this bad movie? I don't get it. I'm like, dude, trust me. Like, we just got to watch it because it's all the rave right now. And so we turn it on. And within, like, I would say a minute, we were just busting up. Like, the whole sex scene and then the supposedly teenager neighbor coming in who looks like a 30-year-old.
Right.
Like, everything about it was so awkward and cringy and just absolutely exceptional.
Any plans? Did you see the documentary film about it?
Is that the one where those guys portray them, or
Yeah, there is two, isn't there? There's Best Friends and
that's what I was gonna talk about. So Best Friends, it's Best Friends Part 1. Did you know that?
oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I just watched that. I watched that the day the McGregor and Khabib fight happened. The
Mhm.
same guy that I watched The Room with. Well, we had some time to kill before the fight, and so we watched the Best Friends, and we found out at the end of it, it's said Part 1, and we're like, oh, there's gonna be a Part 2.
What did they miss from part one that they need a part two?
I have no idea because Tommy was spoiler alert,
Uh-huh.
just to let you guys know. So spoiler alert, but Tommy Wiseau supposedly dies and he's pushed off a cliff or falls off a cliff into the water, which is a hilarious, badly done CG scene. And then they have this for some reason they're putting all of their money away into a fake ATM in a garage, which I don't really understand. And the other character is going back there after Tommy Wiseau dies, and he looks for the money, and then Tommy Wiseau is behind him bleeding, which I don't
Oh,
know why you're bloody when you fell into the ocean, but it's a thing.
he
And then,
probably
and then
tried that technique of throwing the hammer first, but
yeah, we were so confused. Like we rewound it like 10 minutes, watched it again. I don't know if he's dead. I have no idea what's going on. They were selling teeth to get like gold teeth from dead bot. It was just weird. He was like Tommy Wiseau is a mortician. The
right.
other guy is a homeless mute, and then they meet up, become friends because reasons, and then the homeless mute starts stealing the gold teeth from the bodies. But for some reason, Tommy Wiseau was saving the gold teeth because he just wanted to. So he had bags of gold teeth, and they literally sell it on the black market.
So is that one so bad it's good kind of movie?
It's not as good as The Room because I feel like they made it after they were kind of stars because of The Room. So I feel
Right.
like there's a little bit of try hard. But yeah, it's still pretty funny. It's not as good as The Room. So if you anybody out there, if you haven't watched a Tommy Wiseau movie, definitely start with The Room.
So it kind of had the Birdemic 2 kind of feel to it, where he was trying to make it bad or worse on purpose.
Dude, okay, the football scene in The Room where they're just throwing a football around for no reason?
Yeah,
Okay, so they do that in this, but with a basketball.
amazing.
Yeah.
Do you think Tommy Wiseau has embraced his meme status?
Oh, absolutely. You can just tell. The guy knows it. He knows he's got the whole awkward, I'm weird and I'm old and I'm from another country, but
And
I'm gonna say I'm American.
my eyes
Like,
don't face the same direction. That
yeah, no, he's the guy. I love the dude. And before we saw the continuation of him and the other dude from The Room,
Mhm.
he was in a random like kung fu movie.
Really?
And yeah, and he's like some dude with like a katana or something. It was so hilarious. I forget the name of the movie. I'll have to ask my friend, but yeah, we totally were on a Tommy Wiseau fix for a long while. We're searching him out. He's in some movies. It's pretty funny.
Would you ever want to see him live? In a screening of The Room and whatever that other movie was that he was portrayed in.
Yeah, if I could meet him in person, that'd be rad. He really does seem like a guy that what you see on screen is probably what you're gonna get. You know what I mean?
If you could ask him one question, he would have to answer truthfully. What would you ask him?
Why those pants?
Because Lisa, they fit.
Tear me apart.
They're the only pants I have.
That's freaking laugh, man. His laugh is hilarious.
I love how he dubbed over his own lines in in the movie, and they didn't match up. Hello, hey
Dude,
doggy.
they're on top of a roof, like, and it's like they put CG background. Why not just go to a top of a roof
Right.
and not have to? Yeah, jeez.
Uh, all right. Well, hey, that's all the time I have today with Douglas and Dragons. I just want to thank him one more time for coming on the podcast, talking some Tommy Wiseau and some Muppet masturbation with me.
Yeah, glorious.
Is there anything else you want to say before we end the podcast?
Yeah, you're the most savage ferret I know.
Oh, thanks.
Total respect, man.
All right. Well, hey, Thanks for coming on once again. I have been talking to Douglas and Dragons. Like I said, his links are in the description, or if you just wait a few seconds, they'll be at the end screen. I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, and this has been another episode of the Ferret Business Podcast.
Thanks for having me, man.